Welcome back to another episode of Rolling with the Coles. My name is Danny.
I'm Joe.
And this is our episode 3.
Episode 3.
Of season 3. 3.
Yep.
This is episode 3 of season 3. And we want to welcome you all back. Thank you for joining us and watching, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening, whether you're listening on any of the applications that you use to listen to podcasts. Again, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're following us. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, Rolling with the Coles, on YouTube. Make sure you're following us on all social media at Rolling with the Coles. Today's episode, we are talking about breaking the stigma. Breaking the stigma as it relates to mental health and Black people, right? Like it's Black History Month. So happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month.
Shout out to us. Happy Black History Month. And we know that Black History Month is super important for Black people as we celebrate our heritage and our culture. And not just things of the past, but also the future, as we look towards the future. And so we wanted to talk about breaking the stigma of mental health and therapy and mental health resources and mental illness and all of that. And so we do have a special guest here today. You want to introduce our special guest?
Yeah, I introduce our special guest. So this is Andre Charley. He was my mentor back in the day when I was a kid. You know, he an old man now. So so when I was a kid, he would come pick us up and talk to us, take us to church, and that's what really inspired me to be a mentor to the kids now. So he's a therapist, and I just want to have a good conversation with him. So you go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right, thank you. All right, well,
how you feel, man?
I feel great, man. I am excited. I am honored to be here, sitting in your presence, your beautiful wife, and thank you for having me here.
Oh, anytime, man. We're happy to help you.
Thanks.
Yes. So tell us a little about who you are and what you do.
All right. Wow, that could be a long list because I'm the kind of person that have my hand in a few different things. But however, I am a mental health therapist. I have a private practice, so I practice mental health therapy, and I do a couple of things on the side. So I also am a new adjunct instructor for the School of Social Work at Wayne State. So that was God's gift to me for the new year.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. And on the side, I also have a hobby where I sell cars. It was actually a habit that I was spending and buying so much money. And so I created or allowed, I guess God showed me a way of being able to be kind of like accountable in a better way and be responsible with my finances, and actually can benefit from playing with the cars a little bit and selling them without actually having to spend all my money and waste a lot.
Awesome. Okay. So you're a therapist, you're an adjunct professor, you got a business, so you're a business owner as well, or businesses sounds like a business owner as well. So like kind of walk us through like what inspired you to get into like the mental health therapy field?
Well, it wasn't anything I really knew about. You know, some individuals or kids saying, hey, I've known since all I knew is I was going to go to a factory and get a job like everybody else in my family, and that's what I thought. However, I had a mentor in college we were just speaking about, Mr. Crutcher, kind of told me that I should go to college. And I didn't know what all that meant and how that would have changed the trajectory of my life. But I went and I studied music because he helped influence my life. And I figured I'll be a music teacher as well because I can help youth. However, I realized that there was other avenues and ways to actually assist other people in being in addressing concerns and issues in life. So that's how I got to social work, because I started researching different areas. I was going to be a juvenile probation officer of some sort, and I talked to the criminal justice department. He was like, you know, you really sound like you should talk to the social work department. We would love to have you, but I would like you to talk to the social work department and kind of explore what they have there as well. And so that's when I landed on social work and started working with youth when I was in my junior year of college. And it kind of took off from there. I was working in a group home with delinquent youth or those that have been adjudicated in foster care. And I was like, wow, this is it right here.
Okay. So, like you said, it wasn't something that you like knew you always wanted to do when you were a kid, but it was something that eventually was something that you became passionate about and got into. What would you have been if you would have followed your childhood career path?
For me?
Yeah.
um,
What did you want to be as a young tot?
so a few things. When I was real young, I wanted to be a firefighter. Then I want to be a rapper.
Oh, that was a change of heart.
I went for saving people to rapping on them.
Okay. If I would have followed my childhood career path, I would have been a teacher, which to an extent, I guess that happened.
Yeah.
And or I would have been a pediatrician and be grateful I'm not. That's all I can say. Be grateful that I changed my heart. Okay, so
She would have seen that blood went the other way. Nothing.
Okay, Chaz, clean. I've been hollering with you. You don't want me to stick you. I don't want to stick you. I don't. I would have had a whole fit. Okay, so being in the like mental health space, like what are some of the challenges that you faced in that field?
So there's a variety of challenges when you are like a private practice owner yourself. So there's like group practices where they have other therapists and physicians or anything like that can be a part of their group, but independent, individual professionals open up your practice. It's the challenges, finances, hours, clientele, how to manage and maneuver your schedule. It works out, but it takes time to kind of see and understand how it all flows. Insurance providers, if you're going to take cash only as opposed to billing, and if you're having health insurance, you got to bill at some point. You got to learn all that process, what you can bill. Are you billing electronically? Are you billing through the insurance companies? Do you have electronic health record? It was a lot to take in and understand. So I was grateful that I did work under someone that started a private practice, but I knew a little bit because I had contracted with an agency. So I gave her what I knew. She took what she knew, put it together, and had me come on and work with her. And I worked with her for about 4 years. Then the pandemic hit, and I branched off and kind of did my own practice based on all the stuff that I did gain and learn. But being in it, I still didn't know everything I needed to know.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you made a lot of mistakes starting off?
I did make a lot of mistakes starting off, and it's just about growth and learning. I had to learn that I can't trip over what I didn't know. It's only if I knew and I still didn't follow the process. So that's different, but learning curves happen. You don't lose, you learn.
Yeah, you're right about that. Because even when I started my business, I really, same like you, I worked for somebody probably, I don't know, 2 months, and I realized I was doing a lot of stuff for him for free.
Yeah.
So I was like, no. So I went and started buying my own equipment and just, it was learning curve. I mean, we're 5 years in now, but at the very beginning, it was difficult to get clients or people to trust you even to to detail their car. I mean, your car is that's your baby, that's your personal thing. So a lot of people, if they don't know you like that, they don't even want to give you a chance. In Google and like reviews,
right?
That's top tier. Now I realize that you got bad reviews and nobody would call, but and people call me all day long about this thing. I mean, I had to turn my phone off at a certain time because they'll call you at 11 o'clock like, you taking details?
Right.
I'm in bed.
Yeah. Man, I wonder who opens.
But also, our people are hard on reviews.
They are unfair.
Our people don't be giving black business. Support your black businesses.
Support your black business and be fair.
Right. It take a lot for me to like. Even if I don't like the restaurant, if I like the restaurant, I probably won't give you a review. But if it's really good, I'll give you a review. I'll give you 5 stars. Either 5 star or nothing. I'm not going. I try not to.
I'm not even. If you honestly have a bad experience, you have the right to share that experience so other people help the business owner grow and everything. if it's legit. But there are a lot of unfair, not true, just because you had an opinion about something and everyone in your life tells you that you're a little off base or off center. You're hard on people. So that's where it becomes an issue because you typically are more so on that wavelength of creating waves, I should say, and it wasn't necessarily accurate.
Yeah. If you really got that many feelings harvested, don't take it out on that business.
Yeah.
Go get you a therapist. Go talk it out. Talk it out.
You can get in. We can get you in.
Talk it out with your therapist, okay?
Yeah,
and express your emotions in that manner so that you don't harm another person's business.
Because I got one bad review one time, and I was like, what? I didn't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that happens too.
Like, this is imagination.
Yeah. It's really hard. It's really weird because I was doing cars on Turo and I had a car that the previous person had, I guess, had a flat. And they assured me, they got it taken care of. They gave me the paperwork. Hey, I got a flat. Don't you worry about it. Took care of it. Well, things happen. So I cleaned it up. The next person drove it. The tire light came on. They called me on Christmas morning and said, hey, the tire light came on. And I said, okay, if you would like, I can pick it up today and have it back to you this evening because I had already talked to somebody who can take care of it. They said, well, no, it's Christmas and everything. And I said, all right, if you like, I would take care of it in the morning and bring it right back to you at whatever time you say is convenient. Because they were from out of town. And they said, you know what, it's such a busy day, if it gets bad, we'll just take care of it. Well, I looked next week when they returned the car to get a review, and I guess the gear shift was messed up, a little button, which I was totally unaware of. So the review was, he rented us a car with a bad gear shift and a bad tire, and I was like, this is unfair.
Yeah.
I even offered on Christmas Day.
Exactly.
When you let me know, it's not like you let me know beforehand. You had the car 2 days before that. And I was willing to work it out. And you said that it was okay. And then you gave a bad review. How is that okay?
It's not fair. Y'all have some grace.
Yes, for sure.
At the end of the day.
How about you pray about it?
There you go. And also, like we all just trying to do the best we can with what we got.
Right. Extend
some grace. Think about what you would want somebody to do if you were in their position.
Right.
If you were the business owner, how would you want your customer to respond? Okay. Put yourself in their shoes. Empathy.
Okay? Empathy. That's very good.
Okay. So we're talking about breaking the stigma, right? Mm-hmm. We know our people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is and why. I know some of what it is. Some of it is obviously cultural. Some of it is how we were brought up, how we were raised, how our parents were raised, and the stigma and the resources that weren't there for them.
Right.
So lack of knowledge, right? But we're talking about breaking the stigma because our people, for whatever reason, they just be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't need nobody. I'm Mr. Independent. And I can figure it out. I'm going to just take it to the Lord in prayer. Keep doing that.
Definitely do that.
Yeah.
And
in addition to,
also get professional help.
Because God not going to be mad at you if you're talking to your therapist.
He's not. The same way you went to your doctor and said, I hurt my toe.
He did create therapists. He did allow us here for a reason, like he allowed lawyers and physicians and firefighters and police. We all have a purpose. And sometimes our people feel like they can handle it or it's not that bad or I've been through worse. And it's unhealthy to hold all and harbor all those feelings, emotions inside, internal, smoking away, drinking away, sexing away, all the things that we do. We feel like we have these feel-good moments. We go to the gym, we run, we do these, we play ball. Those can be therapeutic, but they are not therapy. Mm-hmm. They do not teach you how your past connected to why you react and respond the way you are, how mental illness can impact you in a way that you're not aware of, how the fact that you had adverse childhood experiences, which you may know as ACEs, how those individual areas impact you and how you can struggle in relationships and navigating work relationships, your boss, everybody's out to get you and you feel like you're always the victim or you can't trust anybody. All of these things have originations. They originate from somewhere. And we can work through that through the therapy process. And you do have to find one that fits. I should say, we know that there's a low number. There's like 4% of therapists of color, about 1% that are black male. I get it. But we are out here, we are representing, and we are available. So we need you to actually give it a chance. I have some of my guys that come in, they've worked their treatment plan, and they are asking to continue because they found it to be helpful. And I had one guy that would come every other month just to check in for like accountability because he knew how valuable it was and he didn't want it to slip into his old patterns. Yep. So it's available. Mental illness is different than mental health. Everyone is responsible for their own mental health. We have areas and we deal with mental health every 24 hours. Every time we wake up and when we go to sleep, our health and our mental health, how we function, how we react, how we respond, how we feel, all of that is in everyone. Yep. So we have the ability to kind of know if we're not regulating the way we should, or we're more aggressive than we should, or didn't answer or respond a certain kind of way. Mm-hmm. So that is something that the common person deals with. Yeah. And we can all benefit from having some areas of mental health support. It doesn't have to be therapy in the sense, but therapy is a great area and a great resource because we have a lot of assets that you can take advantage of. Mm-hmm. You also have mental illness, which is a little different because now you have any of those areas that now may need to be managed with psychiatric support, medication, and regular visits to your psychiatrist or psychologist. So you have a lot of areas that you may need support with that and balance it with a mental health therapist. Yeah. So
how you feel about because we both have our own therapist. So how do you feel about therapy?
So I started going to therapy, one, because my job was offering it for free.
Go
praise
job.
God. But more than that, I started going to therapy because I wanted the same way that I go to my primary care every year for an annual, and then I follow up if I need to, right? I was like, I take care of my physical body. I want to also make sure I take care of my mind. I know that our minds in a lot of cases are more powerful than our actual bodies. Like our minds obviously control our bodies, right? And so if we're not careful to take care of our minds, then other things start to happen in our bodies. Yep. So I could be sick in my mind earlier, sooner, more intensely than I will feel in my body. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I want to just go to a therapist and see how it is. So it initially started as just I'm curious what this is and what it's like and how can it benefit me and all these different things. And a form, if you will, of therapy, or we did counseling before we got married. Mm-hmm. Premarital counseling, which we initially started out with a licensed therapist. Mm-hmm. And she was cool, but like you said, you kind of got to find what works for you. Yes. Yeah. She was cool, but it really wasn't connecting, right? Yeah. She was just very much pen and paper, do this, talk about this, talk about that. Mm-hmm. And I wanted somebody that also could understand and relate and different things. So we ended up going the route of having some counselors who are also married, and him and his wife did premarital counseling with us. Mm-hmm. So it was nice to be able to get both perspectives of the marriage. Absolutely. Before we make that decision to get married. And so that's where my introduction, at least, to counseling and or therapy was through premarital counseling. And then after we got married and finished our premarital counseling, I was like, I'm going to seek my own therapist. So it started out as that. And to this day, I still go to my therapist on a regular basis. And have conversations just about what's going on in life, what's on my mind. for me, it's a great place to like just get it out, release, and even talk about things that maybe I don't want to talk to my best friend about,
Right.
or that I don't want to talk to my husband about. And it's not that I'm keeping things from him, but it's more so like I want to also get a different perspective or a unbiased
advice, because your friends are going to, with every great intention, with the purest heart, they are still your friends. They are still somebody that wants the best for you and may be swayed by their view and opinion of a situation, how it is making you feel, and give you the advice out of that. So that's why that unbiased opinion, someone who is not personally invested in your life but professionally invested in you, will help you look at various alternatives or situations. And sometimes it's us. It's not the person or the situation, because you mentioned something about the thoughts. Everything begins with a thought. Your thoughts are what drives your feelings and your emotions, which automatically turns into your actions and your behavior. And your thoughts are your thoughts, and they create the feelings. But one thing that we have to understand is your feelings are valid, but they may not be accurate. Your feelings can be based on irrational thinking, which cause you to respond a certain way, and you feel strong about it, but that doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it valid. It doesn't even make that situation real. Have you ever had a situation where you thought something was so big and you reflected, and after you processed it, it was small?
All the time.
Or it's just like if we looked and we saw a shadow in our house and we thought somebody was in there, and we done made this big thing, and it could have just been the tree moving from the outside or the clothes in the closet. But we've made this thing big.
It's somebody in this house.
And somebody in this house. I'm not going in there. I heard something because I had a friend called the police. She ran, just screaming out the window, get away from here, everything. The police came and searched the apartment and realized that the wall, it was a little area where it was discolored and it matched the other paint. It was like, man, was this something? There you go. And the picture had fell off the wall. No, the picture fell. And it fell behind the couch, so she didn't know. She thinks somebody trying to break in. It was real to her. Absolutely. It made good sense. Yeah. It sounded like somebody was coming in, but it was not accurate.
Yeah. That's good.
That's how you have to understand how our thoughts and our feelings can be. Yeah. And we take it out on the people we're connected with, or the person that said something that really didn't say it the way you interpreted it, because we also see life from the lens of our own experiences. So how I view things is based on how I grew up. You may have a different meaning than I have about the same word or situation. And in my family, when they say this just mean that, and you say, no, that's not really even what I meant. No, you got it all wrong. And you mad for 3 days for something that didn't really mean what you thought.
That's right. What I would say too about going to therapy too that I've appreciated is my therapist, like you said, holds me accountable, right? So my therapist be getting me together, and it don't always feel great, okay?
It's not gonna feel great all the time.
I appreciate it though, because like, like I said, if I tell my friend, they gonna take my side. Like, girl, you good, you right, yeah. And my therapist like, no, Danielle, no. Yeah, you can't respond that way. Or why did you respond that way? Yeah. And kind of give me some space to have some self-discovery versus just jumping on my side and being like, you right. You good, you did it, you did what you supposed to do.
The whys are very important. Yeah. The why to everything. It can be the right response based on your why. Yeah. It may not be the most appropriate response in the moment, but the why is, it was self-defense, it's protection, it was a way that you had the best way that you could respond in the moment based on the information you knew. Yep. And then you kind of understand from there, but then you also hold yourself accountable when it's like, well, you know what? That still wasn't okay. Mm-hmm. So I actually need to check myself, go back and have a conversation on my behavior. Accountability is important. Owning my behavior and my actions in my role, even if it blew up and we both had this massive argument. We both said some hurtful things, but I got to own what my part was.
Yep.
And that's all you are responsible for.
Now, as a black man, because to my brothers out there, black men have a hard
It's
time
hard.
going to
Yeah.
therapy too.
It's hard.
They
Yeah.
carry a lot.
Yes.
It be all right in here.
We ain't going to
In the
therapy.
shoulders,
We're holding it
in
here,
the neck,
in the back,
Yep.
the lower back.
everywhere.
It's all there.
Yeah.
So as a black man, what prompted you to start going to therapy? Because you got your own therapist too, which they are not the same person, by the
No,
way.
they're not.
Throwing that out.
Well, the first time I had therapy was it was more of a group therapy. It was like me, my mom, and my little brother. My dad just passed away, and they gave us a therapist. And I didn't feel like it was really personal. I feel like, since my brother was the youngest, they kind of focused more on him of how he felt about stuff and this and that. I didn't really get it too deep into how I felt about it. So at that moment I was having like really bad anger issues and stuff like that, and it kind of just trickled down until almost into my adult life, and then after then we went to premarital counseling. That was my second time, and then finally I got my own therapist after searching. I found a black woman, and I was a little iffy about it for a second because I didn't know if she was gonna understand where I was coming from, so like that as a black man. But she's been great. and she asks the right questions. She gives me tools that I can continue to use on an everyday basis, and it's been great. I'm not as angry anymore unless I'm driving. I drive for a living, so I might get mad here and there, but I'm not. But it's always like, somebody make me mad, but then it's like it never happened. I mean, I don't let nothing really bother me too much, and I try to live by that. Just like, people say take it day by day, but I take it minute by minute. Like you might make me mad, but then that next minute I'm just gonna think about something else, and I'm gonna move on from it. So that's a new, and that therapy really helped me with that. Like, there's so much stuff out there in the world that can really make you mad, and relationships, and just dealing with people, and it's still still to this day, it's still some racism that still goes on and stuff like that. And I thank God just for a good person to talk to.
Absolutely. And I like what you said too about you take it minute by minute, but also something that my therapist told me is control what you can control.
Yeah,
that's right.
And a lot of times we spend so much brain space on things that we can't do anything about. We can't change.
Right.
We can't modify. We can't fix. We can't make it different. We can't do it over. And we just have to focus on what we can control. And that was a huge thing as a person who likes control at times. That was a huge thing that I had to learn, is that control what you can control, and you can't control people.
Sure can.
That's the biggest thing that I feel we spend a lot of time on, is trying to control other people.
Right.
They made me mad, and if they would just do but you can't control them.
Nope.
You can't get in their brain and figure out what they're thinking.
You can't teach them how to drive.
You can't teach them how to drive. You can't make them stay in their lane. You can't do none of that. So you just have to control what you control. You can slow down, let them go.
Yep.
Right.
You can speed up and let them fall
And
back.
you also realize how much people literally kill themselves over that. They road rage is so crazy out there. I'm like, nope.
So we have given the power over to them or that situation when we lose control.
Yep.
When we become angry and upset, you have now relinquished what you can control. You can control how you view it, what you think about it. How you feel about it is going to derive from those two things. Now, what you do about it is your own actions, and you have a choice. Even if you made the wrong decision on one car, 6 cars later, if something else happens,
that's good.
you got the power Gandhi, I think he said, you have the power to reinvent your life through your choices.
Mm-hmm.
So that's daily. That's continual throughout the day.
Yeah.
It's not this January, I'm going to make new goals. No, evaluate, assess, come up with a different plan, whatever it is that you need to do. But first, it starts with stopping and thinking. You cannot process anything if you do not stop and think. There's some people that will argue with you all day because they are already ready the moment you start talking, but they have not taken in anything that you said, but they have a response. So those individuals will never actually have a successful relationship in a sense where both parties, or in the family or the household, even the kids, feel heard, feel validated, feel supported. It will always be one-sided. If they feel like you're always on the attack, we're not coming. Guys, men, we don't want any of it. We fight multiple things and dynamics every second we are outside of the house. We would like to come to the house and have some peace. Let us regroup, recuperate from the day's stress and pressure. We're not saying that you didn't have pressure and stress. It's not taking anything away from you as the female or the woman in our life. It's only that we want to be able to reset in times, and that's a part of mental health. That's why some people have to understand, if your partner wants to sit in the car for a few minutes when they get home, it may be a conversation just to gain an understanding. But if I can't get peace when I go in the house, I think I need to sit in the car for a minute to regroup. We ain't talking about 2 or 3 hours, though. That's something different.
He ain't trying to come
We
in
ain't talking
by.
about park on the corner before you get in. You might need to investigate another area. But yeah, we have a lot going on in our minds. Men are only going to talk to people where they feel comfortable. It's hard for us to go to therapy. The stigma of therapy, you're weak. If you go to therapy, what is that? Listen, if you are strong in your mind, you will know that therapy is beneficial because you will only look at things from a logical perspective. How did we get to the point we are in our life? Did someone give us what they gave us to make it, not give us what we needed so we have deficits? Are we a person that received what we needed to receive, and now we just want to make sure we're giving it out the right way? It has various reasons and modes and means for therapy, but it will not be an area where you will feel like, oh my gosh, should have never did this. You might feel like that because now the spotlight is on you, but it's going to be a place where you can actually get through some hard emotions that you never dealt with a skill-based person that has a knowledge base to deal with your area. It does have, you may have to go to various 2 or 3 therapists. If you got to choose 4 or 5, whatever, until you feel comfortable. But make sure you are examining if you're avoiding or you're really looking because it wasn't a good fit. Some people avoid and leave because they didn't like what was said. What was said, was it true? Did it cause you to think? Did it make you angry? Yes. But was it true? Let's start there and deal with that. You know, we held you accountable, and we don't like accountability. But men like to do therapeutic things, but they don't like to do the real work where it involves getting in touch with feelings, emotions, coming to realization, seeing that the woman that you are with, you're trying to make it right with the things that wasn't right with your mom. So you're trying to make her your mom, and giving certain tasks or having certain unfair requests of her because you have deficits, mommy issues. Same thing with the ladies with daddy issues. It just, you don't know though. And you don't know what you don't know. So you got to take some time and explore that with a person that can take you through the process. And they will not take you through the process in a biased way if they're your therapist.
I think that another problem for people too is that honesty. People go to therapy and don't me telling the whole truth.
The whole truth is very important. I'm telling you because I had clients that have given 2 years of therapy in their own view. Now, if that is their truth and that's their view, that's one thing, but it's only one truth, not your truth. That's that way. If that's your truth, now what is the truth? Tell me the truth so I can guide you the right way. And I only knew once we had a couple session that I was not giving information that was accurate for almost 2 years. And you would say, well, a skillful person might be able to figure it out. Now, when you come from a manipulative background, you know that there's some things that don't connect. And through your skills and everything you know, and you're trying to figure it out, which is how we got to have your wife come in. Even with insight and understanding, kind of knowing that some things didn't match and some things didn't align. So you're like, well, have your wife come in. Let's talk about it and see what we can come up with a plan together. Even though you're in individual therapy, there are times where you may have to have your partner come in. That's when the light went off. And they only came to therapy about a month or so after that, and the pressure was on because now you don't want to be accountable. Now that you're exposed, you feel like everyone else is against you. Well, no. But that's one area where we struggle the most: accountability, men and women. But men can really, really put it on, but women have a different kind of way, and we don't even know it's happening.
Do you combine faith and therapy together? Yes,
I do combine faith and therapy together because it's very important to me. It's like the source of everything that I have. There are some individuals that are not into religion or any of that, so you have to respect your clients. They know, based on our conversations, where I am and where I stand. And there's a difference between my personal opinions and views spiritually as opposed to as far as your therapeutic process. A lot of times they marry each other when my clients come because I've been blessed. God sends me certain clients because of my connection and my prayer and my time with them. So there are individuals that feel comfortable even if they are not that spiritual or of a different spiritual persuasion or don't even really believe in God. They don't know what it is, but they know it's something. And that's what allows me to be able to connect because God has no problem with therapy and faith being combined. He gave us certain positions and he helps us to get through certain things so that we can make it. And his word is what strengthens us. So I use that and the strategies and the principles that work in the situation based on what you're dealing with. So there are times where it absolutely combines. I pray with my clients. I make sure that they're good. But I know the ones that I can, and most of my clients are totally open.
That's good.
So I would just want to point out something that you said is like there's a place for therapists, especially in Christianity and in the faith of Christianity. So this is for my believers out there, even if you're not a believer, because sometimes, unfortunately, we do have that thought that like it's either or. And I was trying to find real quick, but my Bible app not working quite fast as I wanted to. But I was trying to find the scripture, but there is a scripture that says that, like it's very wise to have wise counselors, plural, with an S, right? And so the same way that you have a pastor, you got your tax person, you got your therapist or your doctor, you got your lawyer, you got your accountant, you got your detailer, you got your hairstylist, your nail tech, your barber, whoever. The same way you have all of these different people who are professionals in their field is the same way that you should have your therapist. Right?
Absolutely.
Especially when you know you need them and you're trying to manage everything by yourself. Right? If I don't know how to manage my finances, you best believe I'm gonna go find a financial advisor. Right? Or if I don't know how to take care of my own vehicle, you best believe I'm gonna go find a mechanic or I'm gonna go find a detailer or whoever it is to fix the thing, right? So that I can put it in the hands of somebody who is skilled and capable of doing the work that needs to be done.
Mhm.
And so you're not giving your therapist control of your life, but you are seeking their advice and their counsel, their guidance, so that you can have better control of your life, right? And so I appreciate that, like, as a therapist, you still have that perspective of faith to even direct those who come in as believers,
Mhm.
right? To say, like, absolutely, pray about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, study and read what the word says about
Mhm.
this issue that you're going through,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And also, let's talk about it so we
Right.
can also understand how we're applying
Right.
those tools, because prayer is a tool.
Yes.
And reading your word is a tool. That's why they talk about the Bible is your sword, right? That's a tool,
That's true.
right? So we can also talk about how you're using those things and you're not misusing them, because if you don't use them correctly, you can also misuse
Right.
things.
So if you're
like,
not using it correctly, you're absolutely misusing.
right, right. So we can talk through how to make sure that we are properly using the tools that we are provided, not just in the world, but also the tools that God gives us spiritually. So as we get ready to wrap up here, I do just want you to give us like 2 things that you would advise people, especially people of color, as they think about their own mental health or as they think about taking that step to get into therapy. What are 2 things that they should be considering or thinking about as they take those steps?
So understand that there is a variety of therapists, and you can search for Black therapists online and kind of get an idea. Looking at Psychology Today, you can select out what options are available, whether you're looking for Black female, Black male. And there are individuals that are culturally competent that you can connect with as well. Just like a male can be a great therapist for a female and vice versa. So it doesn't have to be a male. There are individuals that are more comfortable going to a male, which is great. I have a variety of clients that go to both. So I want you to, or are open to both. So I want you to make sure that you look at profiles. You can just Google Black therapists, because there's a few sites. The one I was particularly using a lot is not active right now, but there are several sites that have therapists that you can connect with and do if they offer a 15-minute consultation. Send them a message, find out if you can meet with them, just to kind of see if you'll be a good fit. Sometimes y'all don't show up, so I'm about to take that off of my list, so that if you come, I'm going to bill your insurance.
Show up to your appointment. Okay, don't waste people's time.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So those are things, and making sure that you understand that a healthy mind drives everything.
Yep.
If you say things like people don't understand me, or I am looking like I'm the fool all the time, you're going to the gym several hours a day, that can be a red flag. You are avoiding conversations that you deem difficult with your family or your partner, that is a red flag. Just notice the flags and take a chance to do something better and do something that will help you. I do have like male mental health breakfast that I do called the Brotherhood, and my next one will be March 22nd, and that's just for the men to come out and we have a topic and kind of discuss, eat some good food. One of my homeboys since elementary school caters the event.
Oh,
And I have a male mental health conference that men and women can attend July 11th and 12th called Manifest. So
yes.
that is an opportunity to get various perspectives. And I'll be at Wayne State for the main event on Wednesday, on Saturday, July 12th. So that my first one was last year and got a lot of great reviews. And it's just something that helped other individuals understand I'm not alone in this. A lot of times we feel like we're by ourselves. And through those conferences, through those events, people are able to see mental health, one, is real, it's needed, and you're not alone in the struggle.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That is so awesome. Again, Take heed to the gems that were dropped here today. You are not alone, first and foremost, and two, make sure that you are taking those necessary steps to find what works for you. This is not to like force anything on you, right? When you're ready, when you feel like I'm ready to take that next step in my mental health journey or to continue to further myself, like go. Try it out. Like you said, some people offer consultations. The worst that can happen is that person doesn't work out for you. You go find something else.
And
You go find another therapist, not something else.
it's oh, I'm sorry. And I was gonna say that and there's different types too. Like I had a coach. Also had a life coach, which kind of like one of my life is kind of, I feel like I was going in the circle. She kind of helped me break that pattern. So yeah, even a life coach and you got coaching. I have a coach that I talk to probably once a month, and that's different from therapy. I mean, it's still therapy, but the coach is kind of more like he really wants you to put the work into. You'll get the tools and and he really gonna put you gonna put the work into it.
Now you're gonna get some work too in therapy.
Yeah,
put some work in.
Yeah.
But I'll say,
both.
yeah. So like the coach is gonna kind of, the life coach is taking your situation where you are and what it is you would like to accomplish and help you plan a pathway to get there. Putting the work in is your responsibility. The therapist, same type of thing. However, they can go back and look at various patterns in your history, your family of origin, and what and the why and the how you got to this point is very essential in that process. But that's done through a very systemic way when we are looking at your psychosocial history, your biopsychosocial assessment, and kind of seeing how you grew up and what areas may have been deficits or challenges or creative vulnerabilities or traumas. So there is men that have been traumatized that won't talk about it, and it can happen to many of the people that you know because you haven't spoken to a therapist to get healed, to help other individuals get through it in a healthy way too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we encourage you. We'll put some resources in the caption of this as well. Like you mentioned, your events, we'll put those in there. We'll also put in the website you mentioned, Psychology Today, is like a place to start to seek therapists. Use the filters to find what works for you. Like if you have specific criteria that you want in your therapist, you want them to be faith-based, or you got a specific issue that you want them to be specialized in, you can use those filters.
Absolutely.
So because it's Black History Month, I do want to give a Black History fact. One that I actually found on Instagram today.
Yeah.
That I was like, I did not know. Okay. First off, did y'all know a Black man invented ranch?
No.
Well, Black people love ranch, so.
Okay, that's what I said. Did you know? Did you know?
I don't know who invented the Coney Island ranch. That's all I want to.
I don't know, but Hidden Valley. Okay, we'll get it.
Now listen, here we go. Okay. So Steve Henson was an American plumber turned cook. How that happened, I don't know. He went from the bathroom to the kitchen. But here we are, okay? Steve Henson, plumber turned cook, who created ranch dressing in the 1940s while working as a contractor in Alaska.
So a Black man was in Alaska and created ranch.
And was a plumber to start, but then became a cook.
In the 40s.
In the 40s, right? Lots of odd things happen here. But to keep his workers happy, he developed a creamy herb buttermilk dressing. Later, he and his wife opened Hidden Valley Ranch in California, where they served the dressing to guests. It became so popular that they began selling packets of the seasoning mix, leading to the creation of Hidden Valley Ranch as a brand. Ranch dressing quickly became one of the most popular salad dressings in the United States and remains a household staple. It's one at my house. Okay, we love Hidden Valley Ranch.
We do.
At the Coles residence.
We do.
Okay.
I am only I'm a ranch guy only on like chicken. I'm really putting on my side.
That's okay. Yeah. I don't get too funky with ranch now. Right. Chicken.
Yeah, love it.
Salad,
barbecue, and I don't really like it.
Maybe pizza, depending on what it is.
If it got a stuffed crust, then maybe
Maybe. Maybe mozzarella sticks.
I wonder if Coney Island's ranch is the same ranch that they add more water to it.
Coney Island's ranch, they're making their own concoctions now. But he created buttermilk ranch. He is the originator, a black
It's true.
man.
Yep.
Everybody
Okay.
needs to know that.
So that's probably why we love ranch so much, because he
Yes.
knew.
There's a reason. He knew what to do.
He knew what to
You
do.
know,
He knew
this
how to
tastes
get
good,
down in the
this-
pit. He's like, what would I like? Let me add a little seasoning.
Right.
Okay. Created the little package.
I
so
want-
you
I
can
wanna-
make a ranch at
I wonder if
home.
people didn't want to eat the stuff because he was a plumber. So they were like, I don't know.
Well, he
They
was a cook
probably
by
didn't
this time. He was a cook by this time.
Yeah.
Okay. He was a cook
Oh,
by this
yeah.
time, but he did it to keep his
Yeah.
workers happy.
That was good. He was
That's
a good boss.
Black man created ranch, Hidden Valley to be exact.
Yeah.
I do wonder. Now I didn't take this step further, and I'm gonna do this when I leave though. I wonder it's probably not. Do a black person still own ranch? Like still own Hidden Valley?
Probably not.
Because Hidden Valley is still operating today.
Look, you know they offered us some good money.
I'm
Yeah,
sure he
it's
took a
gone.
buyout. Okay,
Yeah.
I hope Steve. I hope you got your money's worth
Yeah.
because the black people be buying your ranch.
Because Hidden Ranch probably is combined with other stuff now too.
It's probably owned by like a huger
Yeah, it could
company, like a Kraft or.
And then
P&G
whenever
or
we do
something.
those things, hopefully you try to like, even when like kid actors and stuff get those royalties because it's all based on
Yeah.
what your
Get
contract
it
is.
patent,
Yep.
You know,
so you forever get the credit. But Steve,
Yes.
we thank you
Thank you.
for
We
creating
thank you.
Hidden Valley Ranch back in the 40s. Okay, we are still
Before
eating
we
your
were
ranch
thought
today.
of.
You're right.
Right, we still eating your ranch today.
Right.
Okay, so shout out to Steve Henson. Keep looking out for us, black people. Keep creating, keep being innovative, keep going, keep coming up with new ideas. Like we have something very special. And it's not just black people, all people. We have something very
Yep.
special, and it's our mind.
Yep.
And we have the ability to use that in so many positive and powerful ways. It's just a matter of regulating that mind
right?
Yep.
and using it for good and not for bad.
Yep.
Right.
So again, thank you, Andre, for coming on.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
I
you.
guess I should say my business name is
Yes.
Affecting Change. So I try to be impactful, and I want to make sure to put that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Affecting Change, Charlie on IG. So
Awesome. Awesome. Again, we'll put all of Andre's information in the caption so that you all can connect and reach out if you want to get services from Andre, or just stay connected to what he's got going on. So thank y'all again for watching. Thank you for joining us or listening wherever you might be listening. We'll catch y'all next time.
Deuces.
Deuces.